Hello and welcome to Andy Shed Live. This is Series 11, episode number 13 for Sunday, the 11th of December 2022. Hello there everybody and good evening. Welcome to the show on this very, 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 very cold December night. We are with you once again. There's a bit of a weird delay on things. Is everything synced up? Is the sound synced with the pictures? Okay. Let me know in the chat, please, and we'll see. Who is in the chat? Gambo's not here because Gambo's working tonight. But Penfold's here, Christopher's here, Wesley's here, Magette's here, Fat Hobbit's here. Christopher says, Andy, did you get my mail of how to put a dial label in from the back? I have got it, Christopher. I've not looked at it yet, but I've got it. Yeah, because it came through to my phone. It's not reached my computer yet, but I have got it. Yeah, so I will have a look after the show. Yeah, might be a bit shorter than normal tonight. It's just been a hell of a week. Yeah. It's Christmas time. It's the worst time of year it can possibly be. I absolutely hate it. Yes, I am Scrooge. Yes, I am the Grinch. Yes, but I absolutely hate, loathe and despise Christmas. I really do. If they said, oh, we're going into lockdown for COVID tomorrow, I'd cheer. Yeah, because it'd be a good excuse not to do Christmas, wouldn't it? So, yeah, I would positively cheer. Right, there's some kind of weird delay on things tonight. Right, just bear with me one moment. I'm just going to try and do something. I'm just going to try and stop the stream and restart it, see what happens. Just bear with me a second. Back in just a tick. And we're back, and hopefully that's better. Is that better? Has it worked any better? Wesley says it was very slightly out of sync before, and Miguel says I agree. Is it better now, guys? It should be better. I think. It's never entirely in sync, but it should be better than it was. It's YouTube doing something, I think, with their ingestion. Plus, I may have messed something up on my computer as well today. Is it any better yet? Are we getting it? Wesley says seems better. Right. I think that's as good as it's going to get. So we'll go with it at that. It's I think it's YouTube. YouTube have been messing again with how they do things. They just like try and make your life as difficult as possible. Google. That's what they're there for. They're there to make your life difficult. That's what Google's reason for existence is. The sooner we can get away from them, the better. Right. What's been happening this week? Not a massive amount, really. Not a massive amount. I've been doing a big Clive this week. I've been retrieving little rechargeable cells out of these disposable e-cig things that you find kicking around. If you don't know what we're on about, type into YouTube Big Clive Big Clive vape cells or something like that, and you should find it on there on YouTube. But yeah, I've got one. Need to get some more. Power my fairy lights for Christmas. So yeah, we are recycling batteries out of old e-cigs. I've also had a delivery this way that somebody stupidly sent through Royal Mail. Why would you send anything on Royal Mail? I do not know. Send it on a courier. It still gets broken on Royal Mail, so send it on a courier. But yeah, we've had a delivery. Shall we see what's in the delivery that has arrived here this week? Shall we? Let's have a little look and see what's in it. Nothing's in there because that's the wrong box. Wrong box. That one. Hang on a minute. Let me get hold of the right box. Right, I think I've got the right box now. This one, I believe, is the right box. I believe. Yeah, this is the right one. Oh. So, look, it's goodies time. So, what have we got? What have we received in this box? Well, obvious things. There's a Mark 1 746 case in Concord blue. The colour that people call green, but it's not actually. Technically, it's blue. And it is a ordinary 746 case. The hole for the screw is high up, as you can see. In fact, it looks as if it's been mangled a bit, that. But, there you go. But it is a Mark 1 case, so that's rather good. We like the Mark 1 cases because you don't see them very often these days. Right, what else have we got in the box? We also have a wall phone 741 stroke 711 case. I don't know if the cases between the 711 and the 741 are any different. As far as I know, they're no different, but correct me if I'm wrong on that. So we've got one of those. Not that we've not already got a load of those, to be honest, but there you go. Then what else is in the box? We have a thing that says it's a telephone junction box, unopened. It's not a GPO type one though. It must be a sort of generic modern one. We've got a handset. I don't think it's got anything in it. No, nothing in that end. And nothing in this end either, I don't think. No, look, nothing in that end. It has got a massive suntan though, this has. I don't know if you can see it, but that's the proper colour. And that's the suntanned colour. It's really, really browny on the outside. In fact, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between that and a brown yeoman type handset. You would not be able to tell the difference. Or it would be very difficult to tell the difference until you looked at that side. But it shows how they go with time. So we've got one of those. What else have we got in the box? We've got one of those with that attached to it. That'll be quite useful. And this is an old one of these. It says GPO on it, not telecom, or it's not blank. It does actually say GPO on it. So that's quite good, quite useful, I feel. Then we get into the interesting things. A couple of red bezels, a light grey bezel, a private bezel, This has actually got a crack in it somewhere. This, I think. Yeah, there. Look, it's cracked there. Can you see that? There. But we might be able to do something with that. So that's a private bezel, because it's only got the numbers on. And this is a GPO variety one, a grey one with letters and numbers. Always handy to have those. We've got a couple of original ivory finger wheels to fit dial 24. No, dial 21, sorry. No. Tell you I'm not with it today, dial 21. Yeah. Some of these metal retaining clip things for the original bezels. Some modern plugs, not the GPO type though, because GPO type, the little springy bit on the side isn't also held at the back on the original type one, so these are not the original type, these are later, and they look longer as well, they do somehow, so they're not the genuine GPO type. They're made by somebody somewhere in China, I should think. Then we have got curly cords. Not sure what this is for something modern probably this. Looking at the ends of it. Something modern in grey. Might be for a Viscount or something like that. Not sure, but it's had the end chopped. This end, look. I don't know if that's the original connector on that end, but it's a grey curly cord basically. And then there's this curly cord, and this really is this colour. I've got no idea what's happened to this. This is a ordinary sort of thing for like a 706 handset or a 746 handset, but it's got this really strange colour. Now, judging by the bits on the ends that are made out of a different material, it should be a grey cord, you know, a dark grey cord, judging by those. But it's got this sort of orangey brown colour, and I've got no idea what's happened to that, and it's quite uniform along it. So is that something to do with heat? Is that something to do with sun? Is that to do with exposure to something or other? I mean, it doesn't look like the cord's ever been used really, but how has it got to be that colour? Strangely, I don't dislike this colour. They ought to have made phones that colour. But what has happened to that to make it that colour? No idea at all. If you know, get in touch. Then what have we got? We have got some clear finger wheels. Might use one of them in a bit. We have got a few opals, the later type that have got the hollow back for like 746s, not for 706s, although they do fit 706s. We have got a keypad surround for a 10 button keypad, and crucially it's got the little window in there. We might never get round to using the keypad surround, but we'll almost certainly use that little window because they fit in other things as well. So that little window is quite handy. We have got finger plates. 1, 2, 3, I think the fourth one there, yeah, 4 of that variety for 746s and refurbished 706s and 711s and 741s and whatnot, and 2 of this variety, these original ivory ones, which are rather nice. And then, probably most interestingly of all, we've got this. Now remember that black foam that I did the other week, and I wanted a dial blank for a 700 series. Well, this is a dial blank for a 700 series. Very similar to the black one, but this has got a centre in it. So we might have to take this apart and just have a look at what the centre involves. So, and we'll see how that works. Right, I'll stick that down there. We'll alter my camera shot again, and you can have a little look at that now. So there it is. So the way you get these off is you just theoretically turn this spidery thing like that, and thing is, your card of that goes in from the back, and it is one of those like is fitted to a earlier dial, like to a dial 12, you know, the earlier finger wheels and that. And if I get an ordinary centre like that, that card feels too big to go in. But when you then look at this, you see that doesn't fit in there because it has to go from the back. So you get hold of your back thing, and there's a little notch there, well, a little protruding bit there, that notch in the card fits in. Yeah, and that's at the bottom of your dial, basically, like that. So you have to do it all in reverse, of course. So you put this clear thing in first, then you put your card in, and then you just put this in again and turn it, and that would fit it to the phone. So you'll do that with it on the case, of course, and that holds it together. So that's the mystery solved of how they work. So I will now be able to fit a dial centre to this, which we were doing the other week. Which way do I have to go to get it in shot? That way. To that we were doing the other week. If you remember this, because it's not got the dial centre in it. But we can now get on with that. Now we know for sure how to do it. I had been given a clue that was how it was done, but I hadn't actually seen it, so I've now actually seen one. Brilliant. Right, how are we getting on in the chat? Dominic's joined us. Says he's just got back from the shop. Thought you bought something nice while you were there, Dominic. Wesley says this box, they must have posted it in September for me to have received it this week. Yes, yes, Wesley. Basically, they probably did. What I can't get my head around with all these strikes and that, when you buy stuff off like eBay and Amazon, stuff like that, I can't get my head around why people are still sending stuff on Royal Mail, given that it's cheaper to send it on nearly every courier service you possibly can, and the couriers aren't on strike and Royal Mail are. Why are people still using Royal Mail? No idea at all. I don't use them for anything, really. In fact, I think the couriers ought to introduce a letter rate, and start delivering letters as well as parcels, because I think they make a fortune, particularly at this time of year. Dominic says that can't be common. What can't be common? This? Are we talking about this? No, these probably aren't common actually, and it's a green one as well, which is probably fairly unusual. I'm guessing most of these were probably grey. Most things are normally grey related to GPO telephones. Yeah, it's quite good, that. Yeah. Still not a black one though, although I have got a black one now, of course, so it doesn't matter. But I've got a green one as well, so might have to put a green phone together without a dial and see how that progresses. Yeah, so there you have it. So that's what's arrived in the post this week. All those bits and pieces. Now here, I've got here a finger wheel. So as I've got one in my hand at the moment, let's answer the question that we've had for a few weeks about this red phone that's been sat here for a few weeks now, because we think that the finger wheel on this is one off a trim phone. We think it's got a slight tint to it. So if we get it side by side with one that is definitely a clear one, because I can see it is, we might discover if it's tinted or not. So let's put that down there. So there's my clear one. Here's what I think is a tinted one. Now the problem is I cannot replace this tinted one with this clear one. And the reason is, as we've said on here before, the screw that holds it in, this one, look, is like a countersunk screw. I don't know if you can see that. And the hole in the middle of this is a countersunk hole. But that is definitely a trim phone one, look. Can you see the difference in them? In fact, bring them that way a bit. That's the trim phony one with the tint, and that's the clear one. Now this finger wheel has got a flat bottom to the screw hole. Can you see? So if I was to put that countersunk screw in it, when I tightened it up, it would probably split this finger wheel. So that is the wrong screw for that type of finger wheel. And I've just had a look at the other two finger wheels that I've got here, and guess what? They're all equally wrong. The other two that I've got have both got flat bottoms as well. So I'll have to go and find a countersunk one before I can actually replace this permanently on the phone. But yeah, for now this is a trim phone one. It is not correct. Now I've got a load of them in stock somewhere. But for now we will, oops, chucking it away. For now we will put this one back on. Like so. Because I need to either find a countersunk finger wheel or a non-countersunk screw to go in the middle, neither of which I've got immediately to hand. So that can go on there like that. So we have answered the question about that. It was a Pertle one. Dominic says it's the Concorde Blue Mark 1 case that he thinks is rare. Yeah, buried it. This is what you're talking about, isn't it? This. Yeah, it must be. I think have I already got one? I think I might have already got one. But yeah, it's Mark 1 cases in general are relatively unusual because they were made for a fairly short period of time. The thing is, because they were made at the launch of a phone, they didn't make quite a lot of them, because they made a load to launch the phone. Yeah, they are rare by comparison to the later case that's got the sort of bit that sticks up there and then comes down, so the handset sits firmly in there. They say you can knock the handset off the hook here. Well, you've got to be the clumsiest oaf on the face of the planet to do it, because I've tried deliberately to do it and I cannot do it. So I don't know what sort of idiot manages to do it, but it's damn near impossible. But that's why they changed them, allegedly. So yeah. Yes, unfortunately one of the difficult to fit cases, not like the special 746T that we had on the show last week. So there we go. So that's what's turned up this week. That's the stuff that's arrived this week, shall we say. Penfold says, in rural Scotland, only Royal Mail is the most cost-effective delivery service due to the Scottish tax imposed on us Scots. There's a Scottish tax? Wasn't aware of that. Well, I suppose it depends where you are. Are you in the Highlands? Because they always say it costs more to deliver to the Highlands, don't they? But it can be some very remote places in the Highlands, so I can fully understand it. No, Nick says, I'm still waiting for that damping fluid for my turntable last week, and so I gave up, ended going to a remote control car shop in Cannock and buying some from there. Got my turntable fixed a week early then. Remote control car shop. So what was the damping fluid? Was it like for suspension, little remote control cars, or was it for something else? Interesting. Dominic says maybe the case thing is more to do with the handset being pushed from the back by another object on a desk. How though? How do you do that? I've tried always to do it. I just can't do it. Here's your phone, right? Here's a handset, yeah? You can't push it that way because this bit sort of catches on the case. So, you see, it always falls back on the hook. No matter what you do, it's impossible to not have it on the hook, unless you do something mad like that, of course. But just to drop it on, it always drops on the hook. I don't get it. I don't get what the problem is. Actually, I made an interesting colour combination there. I've never seen that combination before. You watch, somebody will put one of those on eBay, that colour now, next week. Yeah. Christopher says the Pi dial blank is like his Pi dial blank. Yeah, yours is a different logo in the middle to that though, isn't it, Christopher? Yours is not. Alright, hello, which way around do I have to turn it to get it the right way up? Yours is not quite like that, is it? What's interesting about this, it says radio telephone controller. On it. So is this off some unit specially converted for use on a radio telephone system of some kind? Like in a control room for a bus company or the police or fire service or something. I don't know, but it's an oddball thing, that. Probably be quite an interesting phone that it was off of. Penfold says, is the handset the correct age for the case of the phone? Good question, Penfold. Who's that ringing me? They always ring at the wrong time, don't they? They always ring at the wrong time. Right. That's alright, it wasn't one of you. Not this time, not this week. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, the case. Yeah. This. Do you mean, is this handset the right age for this? These handsets didn't change, so it makes no difference. These are as they were designed in 1959 or whenever it was. The case dates from between 1967 to 1971-ish, but the handsets never changed. The only thing about the handsets that changed is they took away this big hole in the cap and put in lots of little holes instead, what some people call the pepper pot. So this is what would have gone on here. Not this particular one, obviously, because it's the wrong colour, but this is what would have gone on here, and there's just no way you can not make it fit. It's impossible to not make it sit on. I mean, even that way up, it falls back to the. You see, you just can't do it. It drops on the hook every time. This story about him not going on the hook, I do not know where it comes from. It maketh no sense. Christopher says his dial blank, like that, has a metal logo on the dial blank. Yeah, I think somebody stuck that on, Christopher. I don't think that logo should originally have been on that dial blank. I think they're two things that somebody has put together at some point. Because when you look at it, it doesn't look quite central to me. I don't know. It just doesn't look quite manufactured by Pi. It looks like somebody's found a Pi logo on something, a little Pi badge on something, and found a dial blank and gone, oh, let's glue that on there. So, which makes it unique. So, you never know. Christopher says, is the dial blank ABS or Diacon? His is Diacon. All it says on the back of it is KKA17. I would say that is ABS. Because it's not got a deep enough shine on it to be Diacon. I've said this before about Diacon. It's really hard to tell on video, and it's difficult to explain. But Diacon has got a depth to the shine that this hasn't got. So I'm assuming this is ABS. KKA 17. Don't Diacon things have 12 on? That's all it says on it. KKA 17 on the back. There. Don't know if you can see that. But yeah, an interesting thing nonetheless. We'll have to have a little sort of look at that and see what we can do with it. Yeah. Right, so they are the things that have arrived this week. It's not been a total waste of time this week, but it's not been massively exciting for stuff arriving either. Right, let me get that back on there. Right. But yeah, regarding the where I put it, the 10 button, this 10 button thing. It's interesting because I've had for ages sitting here this version of it. Now this version comes basically in 2 pieces. It comes as a back piece and a front piece that are somehow fitted together. I don't know if they're clipped or if they're glued, but it's 2 pieces, if you can see there, sort of joined together. And on the front then there's like this frame, this raised frame around everything. But when you take that off, you basically get this. And this is over the top. Now what is this frame for? Is it something to do with if you're blind and need to feel where the buttons are? I don't know. It's an interesting one, that. Also on the back these are slightly different as well, because this one has got sticky out bits here and here and here and here, look. This one hasn't. It's only got the thing at the top and the thing at the bottom. So I think this is a later one than this one. That's the back of it, of course. That's the back of both of them. Turn them around. That's how different they are on the front, you see. But it's like they deleted this overlay on this one. It's like they deleted it and went, oh, we don't need that overlay thing, we'll just use this bit. So I think this overlay is rare, but I don't know. Does anybody know? Has anybody else seen one of these overlays on the button thing? Wesley says it'll be ABS if it's a number 17. Yeah, I think it's ABS, Wesley. It looks like it's ABS. You know, just to look at it, like I say, it's not got the depth of shine that Diacon would have on it. Christopher says my Pi phone might come from the railway. I see Australia Railways use a lot of GEC and Ericsson, but I never see Pi phone on Australia. What, were Pi and Ericsson not one and the same at one time? Did one not merge with the other at some point in history? I'm not sure. Some of these companies merged and then diverged and things, and I'm never quite sure the history of all of them. But I have a feeling a bit of Ericsson might have merged with Pi, or Ericsson might have bought out Pi or something like that. I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me on that one, but I have a feeling something might have gone on there. Gambo is with us. I thought he wasn't going to be. I thought he was working. He is here. says my dial label on my Bakelite is weird to me. It's got 555 to call ambulance and 444 to call the fire brigade. I'm still working, but watching in little bits at a time. Cool. Yeah, 555 and 444. Perhaps that they were numbers on a PBX to get through to the emergency services, or on some kind of private system. I don't know. I've never heard of 555 and 444 before. But they are levels that wouldn't normally be used. So the first 5 and the first 4 are generally levels on an exchange that wouldn't be used. Think about exchanges. Think about numbers on exchanges, not the code numbers, but the actual number. You know, the 5 or 6 digit number, or in days gone by 4 digit numbers. They normally start with like a 1 or a 2 or maybe a 3. They don't normally start with a 4 or a 5 to advance a stepper to that level, sort of thing. So 4s and 5s could well be used for special purposes. Dominic says he thinks Pi eventually became part of Philips. Possibly. It says maybe the telecoms business was sold separately. I have no idea. Penfold says you dial 666 to dial the Australian. You know something? I read that in all seriousness there, Penfold. You've almost got yourself banned for that. I sat here and read that. You dial 666 to get the Australian police. Penfold, I'm not talking to you anymore. Only joking. Dear me. Some mothers do have them, don't they? Right. Yes. Right, we've got another Christopher in. Christopher Charles, not Christopher 2000. It's a different Christopher. He says 555 and 444 from the days on PABX sites, Ministry of Defence. Could be, yeah, Ministry of Defence, yeah. 555 and 444, yeah, it could be. Do with the MOD. Christopher says, no, Penfold, it's 000 for police. Ambulance and fire. Yes, I think he was joking with you, Christopher. Right. Right. Oh dear. Yeah. So yeah, that's all what's arrived in the mail anyway this week. That's probably the most interesting bit. Let's go. So yeah, more bits and pieces have arrived, and we've finally found out that that this red telephone does indeed need a different finger wheel on it, because that one is a late model trim phone one. It's definitely got that pinky purpley sort of look to it, that. So we will change that. I'm given half a chance. Might be next year. Sort of when I get half a chance. Right. So I'm just winding this up, putting this out of the way again, because I've got very little space here at the moment. I've always got very little space here, but I've got particularly little space at the minute. Just a lot of stuff has come in and not much has gone out recently. So I'll put the red phone back up there for now. Yeah, so not a lot else has arrived, just that box of bits, which is pretty good, really. That box of bits. Oh, one other thing has arrived. Remember we had the the 746T on last week, which is an oddball phone because it has this 746EET 80/1. Tell a 746T, do not recover generically on it. Help if you could see it, wouldn't it? There. Do not recover generically. Alright. So I got this because they arrived in the wrong order. But I got this because what I originally saw was this, which is the base off another one. So what the original eBay listing that I saw was for this one, which is just a base. But it's exactly the same underneath. 746T EET 80/1. Do not recover generically. And then the little sticker underneath says MIC or MIC 7/21A. Now, does anybody know what that means? That MIC or MIC or MIC 7/21A. Anybody got any idea what that little sticker means? Tell you something else that's odd about this. The base of this is shiny and it's plastic, and the plastic bases aren't normally shiny like that, but this one's really shiny. But it is just a base, as you can see, with nothing else to it. And what is really odd about these is the case that goes over the top, which is a completely different moulding to a normal 746. So to rebuild this I need another 746T case, and I'm fairly sure I haven't got one. I mean, I've got lots of 746 cases I've not taken a really close look at, but I'm fairly sure there's not a 746T amongst them. I'll be amazed if there is. So we're looking for a 746T case so we can rebuild another 746T because they're quite rare. Okay. Christopher says, I know Plessy and Ericsson are a shared company. Yeah, it might be what I was thinking of. Yeah, it might be Plessy and Ericsson. Christopher also says, on my PABX, to dial police, ambulance or fire, I have to dial 0 for an outside line and then 000. You see, that's why your PABXs are different to ours here, Christopher, because normally on a PABX in the UK, you dial 9 for an outside line, and I think it's for that reason. For in an emergency, dial 999. But so it's all the same digit that you're dialing. Dominic says MIC or MIC is Micanite and Insulators Co Limited, London, according to Bob Freshwater's site. Yeah, I don't think it relates to the manufacturer though, that MIC thing. Dominic, I think that's something else, because the manufacturer on this is EET. Now, who's EET? Is that Plessy or somebody? I don't remember off the top of my head. If you've got the site open there, Dominic, you might have a look who EET is. So I think that's the manufacturer, EET. But what does this MIC 7/21A mean? And it's definitely a 746T originally, because it's got the T marked in the original printing there on the base. So yeah, it's a mystery, and I've got two like it as well. So it's a weird one, is that? It's a very, very strange one. I've got no idea, but this base will just sit around forever probably waiting for a case. So we need a case to go on the base. It's a matter of interest. Do ordinary 746 cases fit on? I assume they do, except for the fact the screw hole is in the wrong place. Shall we try this? No, they don't actually. At least these early ones don't, because they've got these bits stuck on the inside of here. Yes, that's it. That catch on that metal bit there. So the case doesn't go down properly on there. So an ordinary 746 case doesn't even rest on, doesn't even begin to rest on. So yeah, interesting problem. Yeah, what do you think? Got no idea at all. So that definitely does not go on there. Right, anybody got any ideas? Dominic says, I think Plessy were the ones to introduce plastic bases for the 746. Did everybody do it? I know with 706s, it was a matter of whether or not they did printed circuit boards as to whether the case was plastic or not. If they did printed circuit boards, you got a metal base. If they did wired, sort of hand wired internals for the phone on the 706, you got a plastic base. But given that all 746s basically had the same circuit board, was it just manufacturer preference whether they were plastic or metal? I don't know. Or did they all start out metal and then were cheapened to plastic as time went on? That is another good question that I don't know the answer to. Christopher says, regarding the emergency dialing, if you dial 999 or 911 in Australia, it still goes through to emergency 000. Yeah, I think that works here as well, Christopher. Our normal emergency is 999, or if you're on a PABX, 999. But equally, I think if you dial 911, the American version, then that still goes through to the emergency services. I'm not sure if 000 does. I think it probably would, but I don't know for certain. And I ain't trying it. I don't want fire engines and ambulances and things turning up, so no. Yeah, I don't know, but I assume they are all connected to the emergency services, because it would be a relatively simple thing to connect the different numbers used all over the world to the emergency services. Right, okay, that's about that then, isn't it? Not much has happened this week, really. More radio station stuff coming up this week, or later in the week, hopefully, if I get it edited in time. There are a couple more episodes of How to Start a Radio Station that hopefully will be coming up quite soon. Next week is the last Andy Shed Live before Christmas, which will make it the whatever it is next week. Is it the 18th next week? Let me have a little look. What dates are what? Yeah, it's the 18th next week, which will make it the last show before Christmas, because the following Sunday is actually Christmas Day. Now, we won't be on Christmas Day, but we are likely to be on with a special live show on either Friday the 23rd perhaps, or Saturday the 24th, I think, of December. So 23rd or 24th of December, possibly Christmas Eve, possibly the 24th. A special live show has become a tradition around Christmas time. Let's hope it goes better than last year with that one we did in the fog that conked out halfway through. Yeah. Which was an Escape the Shed live at Christmas that we did last year. Escape the Shed will be returning, by the way, in the new year. There are some new ones to be recorded still. I'm just having trouble getting a free day to go out and record them because it's just manic at the moment. Absolutely manic. There are so many things to do and so little time in each day. I wish they'd invent a 30-hour day. I wish they'd invent a 30-hour day and an 8-day week. It'd be marvellous. But as they haven't, it's back to the drawing board. So yeah, so that's all stuff that has arrived recently. And just got so many phones and stuff to sort out that, because stuff has trickled in over the last few weeks, and yeah, it's just all kind of piled up around me here. Penfold says, are you wearing a Santa outfit for the Xmas show? Probably not, Penfold. I look stupid enough as it is most of the time without having to wear a Santa outfit. Dominic says, any plans for more LD and ECR walks? Yes, Dominic, is the answer to that one. Are you free to do some more? Get in touch. Yes. Yes, there are plans for some more of those, including the end of the line in Chesterfield, which is very difficult to see where it went now, but we can hopefully find it. But yes, more about the Lancashire, Derbyshire and East Coast Railway, which neither went to Lancashire nor to the East Coast. It's one of the maddest railways ever. Just brilliant. Well, yeah, more about that soon. Christopher says, EET is Ericsson telephone. I have an Australia phone that's made by Ericsson. It has an EET logo on the base. Cool, yeah, Ericsson something telephone, or Ericsson telephone. Yeah, yes, I get why that's Ericsson. Yeah, well, that would make it sensible for the bases to be plastic on them, because as far as I know, the bases on all Ericsson phones are plastic, as far as I'm aware. On the N1900s and things like that, they're plastic as well, aren't they? So yeah, I think all Ericssons are plastic. Dominic says the Fledborough walk was very interesting. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? If you've not seen it, look on the channel for Escape the Shed at Fledborough Viaduct. If you've not seen Dominic and me climbing up onto Fledborough Viaduct. But yeah, no, and there will be more, because that is on the Lancashire, Derbyshire and East Coast Railway, or what was the Lancashire, Derbyshire and East Coast Railway. Very interesting railway. Good stories behind it. Absolutely bonkers railway. Built fairly on a whim, actually. I mean, they said it was for coal traffic, but actually it was kind of so the guy who built it could go to the seaside. But yeah, there's a wonderful story behind it, and a particular bonkers loco that ran on it as well. But I'll save it for another day. That Christopher says, my Ericsson N1970B phone has a metal base. Does it? That's interesting. Because I don't think I've ever seen an Ericsson phone with a metal base. But it says, but N1970Bs are very rare. Right, has anybody else got an Ericsson phone with a metal base? Shout up if you've got one. Everybody scurries off now to look at their Ericsson phones. Because I think every one that I've got is plastic. I think. From the sort of 700 era. You know, the things that look like a 706, you know, what I call 706 clones. As far as I'm aware, all the Ericsson ones have got a plastic base. But Christopher says he's got one that's got a metal base. But as he's in Australia, things might be different over there. Interesting. You learn something new every day here. You really do. There's always sort of a question that comes out of these live streams. Yeah. Right. I think we have almost cracked it for this week. Like I say, it was just going to be a shorter show this week because not a lot has happened really this week. It's just been busy with work and boring stuff basically, and nothing interesting's really happened this week. But as we get towards Christmas, hopefully it will a little bit more. And if I can get a bit of editing done over the next couple of days, we will continue the Wednesday night release of How to Start a Radio Station. We will hopefully release the next episode this coming Wednesday. And watch out for more on that over Christmas as well. Right, what are people saying in the chat? Christopher says the N1970B phone might just be made for Australia. It's possible. I wonder where it was made, because Ericsson had factories all over the place, didn't they? So I wonder where it was made. Yeah, it's an interesting one, that. I don't know. I can't say that I've ever seen one of these N1970Bs in person. I've only seen like photos of the one you've got, Christopher. I've not actually seen one in the flesh, as it were. So I can't really comment too much on it. Now, we've got another project still to do here, haven't we? Because I just realised that still sitting behind me is this 746 chassis. Who made this then? 746 GNA, this. GNA 711. So, now that's interesting, because at 1971 that could have been, that could have been a Mark 1 case. In 1971. So perhaps that chassis could marry up with, I know we said we were going to do this red, didn't we? I had a bit of a vote and I think people said they wanted to see it red, but as I've got a chassis of the right age, perhaps it could have that case on it. What does everybody think? Is that a combination that works for you guys? Oh crumbs, my chat's disappeared. Hang on. Where's my chat gone? I shall find it. One moment, please. Oh, he wants me to sign in again. Google is such a pain. It is the biggest pain in the bum you've ever seen, Google. Really, this two-step verification nonsense. I absolutely hate it. Ever seen Google? Right, hang on, got to get rid of that so it doesn't L round, and do that, and do that, and then I can get rid of that, and my chat is back. Right, lovely. Right, Christian says that he's got both his N11E13 phones hooked to the Cena ATA. Wesley says it would be great with a period case, that phone. Alright, we'll stick that case on it then, Wesley, shall we? That blue one, being as it's arrived and it's sort of sat here together. Yeah, oh no, there's a wire sticking out of the back of there. What's that? Oh, all the wires are disconnected. Oh, that's good, isn't it? See, that looks like it was probably originally a grey cord, a grey phone, because it's got a grey cord on it. But the truth of the matter is, none of that is connected up anyway. So, yeah, it probably was originally a grey phone. Do I really want another grey one? I don't know. I don't know, because there are so many grey ones out there, aren't there? So yeah, I am tempted to put that on there. I really am tempted to put that on there. We'll leave it like that for now. Let me know in the comments what you think. As to whether you think this phone, this chassis, which was originally grey, should have this blue, or that we think was originally grey, because there's no way of knowing for certain. Do you think it ought to have this blue case on it that is in period? But we'll leave it like that for now, over there, and try not to forget about it this time. Right, I think that is probably almost as far as we go for today. Christopher says he got both of his N1170Bs in Australia, so perhaps that was only an Australian phone, because I've not seen one of those. Yeah, that is probably about as far as we are going to go for today, because I've not had my traditional Sunday night pizza yet. We were running a little bit late earlier. It's marvellous we got on around 6:30 tonight. Just get later and later and later. There's so much stuff to do. But we will be back around about the same time, same place next week with another Andy's Shed Live, which, as I say, will be the last live show from here before Christmas. But not necessarily the last live show before Christmas, because we will hopefully be back either on Christmas Eve or day before Christmas Eve with another very special live event. So plenty to come over the next couple of weeks. Also remember, on Wednesday, hopefully more from How to Start a Radio Station, and you'll be seeing a little bit more of what's going on there. I think it's all to do with CD players this Wednesday. Maybe that's next Wednesday. Not sure what order they come in. But yeah, there's certainly sometime in the next 2 or 3 weeks there will be a couple of episodes regarding CD players and wiring them up to broadcast mixers, which is not as simple as you'd think. But that is about as far as we go for now. Remember, do a big Clive. Look out for discarded vapes that you can pinch the rechargeable batteries out of. If you've not watched Big Clive's video on that, have a look. Just type Big Clive vapes or Big Clive reused batteries or scavenged batteries or something into YouTube, and you should find him somewhere on there. That is it though for today. I am off to have my pizza once I've tidied the mess up with all this stuff that I've just chucked out of this box down here. Thanks to everybody in the chat for taking part again. Remember, if you want to get in touch with us in the week, you can. You'll find a contact us form on the website, which is here, andyshed.coldpress.net. That is the website that is ready for an update again. Actually, I might actually get around to doing it over Christmas. And also remember, if you like what we do here and you would like to join us on Patreon for just the equivalent of £1 a month, you can do that too by visiting patreon.com/AndyShed. And we also have a forum for all things telephony, which you'll find here. gpotelephones.proboards.com is the forum. Right, that it really is about it. I'm just seeing the chat sort of shooting up. Everybody's saying bye-bye. Dominic said, looking forward to seeing more of the radio station and the surprise stream. Yeah, so am I. It says, see you all next week. Keep warm. Had snow tonight. Yeah, there's been a little bit of snow here for the last couple of nights, but not a mega amount, but just a sort of icing sugar type sprinkling, I would call it. But yeah, hoping we don't get tons of snow. But who knows? Right, I am off now to put some more coal on the fire and a pizza in the oven. I will see you all next time. Remember, How to Start Radio Station coming out should be on Wednesday, and back here same time, same place, 6:30 next Sunday for another Andy Shed Live. But for me, for now, have a fantastic week ahead. Try to stay warm, and we'll see you soon. Bye everybody.